Absolutely. You know, Preeti, this is an accusation that's being leveled against a party. You guys are losing the moral high ground that you had or claimed to have against the BJP and the Congress. For example, as a lawyer or even a normal citizen of the country, you would know that the police to carry out a raid would need a warrant. Why would the law minister stand and order the policemen around when they refuse to follow orders, sit on a dharna and block traffic in the national capital, violating section 144 that had been imposed?
See, this question that you have raised is only limited to your panel discussions. The whole country knows that if there is a crime taking place, the police has to investigate. I am so surprised that despite all your research teams and the legal help that you have, and I'm sure the BJP spokesperson has as well, they do not realize that under the Immoral Trafficking Act and the Act for drug trafficking, there can be an immediate investigation of a crime that is taking place. This is not a raid.
Preeti, who will decide that? Will the police be allowed to take that decision, or will the lawmakers decide that? If in a separate state, if this were to happen in a Madhya Pradesh, would you not accuse the BJP of breaking laws?
I'd like to add there is something that you have to understand here. Time and again, the media has brought up the issue that the Delhi police, as well as police in other states, burks and tries to avoid taking action, avoid filing FIRs. This is a national problem, that there is injustice in the police system.
But the women themselves have come out and filed an FIR, and they've also identified Somnath Bharti, Preeti Menon. The Ugandan women have named Somnath Bharti, and they said that they were harassed on the streets.
Yes, post facto, after that incident, Ugandan women have made a lot of complaints, and we have given the full rebuttal in video as well as in writing, and the truth will come out. The allegations made by the Ugandan women are completely false. The police was present throughout the raid. The women constables were present. Whatever tests that went on with them went on at AIIMS, and nobody inflicted any tests on them. So this misrepresentation that has been going on definitely raises questions on the credibility of the people who are working so hard to misrepresent an incident where the citizens want a crime to be stopped and the police is not taking action.
Nalin Mehta, would you like to respond?
Let's go a little beyond the long-winded explanations and try to look at a few facts. Ms. Menon, of course, has the unenviable task to defend absolutely the indefensible. But the fact of the matter is, that gives Mr. Bharti the right to say, I feel like, and I'm sorry to say it on air, spit on Mr. Arun Jaitley and Mr. Harish Salve. Ye hamare, the kind of language he uses. It also gives them the right, and she's a lady, you're a lady. Any 20 people get together and they say, we think this lady is of a loose moral character. Let us immediately open our house and see. And that lady may also be with a gentleman friend. So are we now to remove the entire process? I happen to also be an advocate for the record. And I think Ms. Menon would do good to go and read about the Vineet Narayan case. If you have any trouble, you only need to see Mr. Jaitley's article, where he's also quoted Lord Denning and also quoted the Vineet Narayan case. There are specific guidelines about how you go about it. So your desire to be a cleansing agent aside, it does not mean you can start a kangaroo court or a kangaroo process to the rule of law and immediately decide what you want to do. I think Mr. Bharti is guilty of many things, and I think what's worse is that the entire Aam Aadmi Party and pathetically the Chief Minister, they are constantly backing the wrong thing. Where there is a wrong thing that's happened, I think we need to move ahead and let law take its own course. But then immediately to protect Mr. Bharti, you have a Chief Minister who's sitting down calling policemen to abandon duty. I mean, if that's, how do you read that? And then on top of it, defying 144 as the first citizen of Delhi, and then goes ahead to say, no, this is all okay under the right of protest. I think the Aam Aadmi Party is showing that it is short, it likes to be in an agitation mode. It has not provided a single solution of how to reform police. Let's now look at the other fact. 10 lakh people, 1 million people sit for the police exam for constables, 4,000 are selected every year. 600,000 people sit for the IAS, IPS exam, 100 make it to the IPS. They just don't pick up a cap and become members of a party like the Aam Aadmi Party. Are you trying to say every policeman is corrupt? Are you trying to say then next all media people are corrupt? Next you'll say all doctors are corrupt, all engineers? There are corrupt people, there are non-corrupt people in society. So are we going to say, and they are coming from our society, shall we just throw all the systems out? The point here is you need to reform the system. You need to make sure that corruption does not take place. And if it does, you need to immediately come down fast and punish this. You just can't say the entire police force who is standing out there and preventing the terrorists. Tomorrow's Republic Day. There are policemen who are doing their duty through the night. There are many of them who work 7 days a week. And this is not the form of thing. There may be officers among them, there may be constables among them who are corrupt. Certainly the system must take action against them. But this kind of approach that the Aam Aadmi Party is the only correct, righteous, honest thing does not work.
Is going somebody be allowed to speak?
Certainly, ma'am. with pleasure, Miss Menon. We've been hearing the Aam Aadmi Party for a long time.
Before you respond to Nalin, I also want to ask you, you're saying that Arvind Kejriwal has said that it was unfortunate that his law minister said that the media was being paid by Narendra Modi, but you yourself are claiming that every media organization is misrepresenting what actually happened in Delhi during that midnight raid, which means every newspaper and every news channel has been paid off.
I definitely feel that there is a concerted effort to misrepresent the event of that night.
By everyone,
Nalin gave a lovely sermon over there,
all
but
the
fact
news
is that
organizations
none
in the
of
country.
these sermons. May I please complete?
No, but I want you to respond to this. Do you think that every news organization is misrepresenting reality?
Yes.
Is every news organization misrepresenting
the
events?
Yes, definitely. There is a deliberate misrepresentation of that night's events that has taken place, and we have clarified it by posting the correct videos. There has been a concerted effort to misrepresent what happened over there. Mr. Somnath Bharti did a lot of wrong things. He was wrong in talking about the way he did about the media today. He was wrong when he spoke about Mr. Jaitley in that manner, and we have condemned it and we have apologized for it. So when we do something wrong, we are the first ones to apologize. But when we have not done something wrong, when we have demanded police action when a crime is taking place, which is something that most activists honestly do every other day. Every other day we are giving a dharna at some police station demanding some FIR be filed. The BJP spokesperson gave a lovely sermon, but none of it has translated into reality for the Aam Aadmi of this country. None of this has resulted in good governance, either in BJP ruled states or in the rest of the country. Governance is in shambles.
But Preeti Menon, would you also like to comment on the governance in the national capital?
Honestly,
FIR filed without doing a dharna.
This is so generalized.
I cannot. This is not anarchy. The fact is that when huts are burned, I have to go and do a dharna over there to get an FIR filed against the perpetrators.
All right,
this is the justice that they have reduced us to. This is the misery that they have condemned us to, and we are going to fight this system which they have created.
How are you fighting this system? You can't fight a system by breaking the laws on the streets.
What you cannot accept is that there is a revolution in politics, and that is something that you cannot accept. We are not going to play by your rules. You've decided that this is the way the game is going to be. This is the way we are going to run the country. This is the way we are going to abuse the nation. This is the way we are going to institutionalize corruption, and this is the way it is going to continue.
Miss Menon, there are rules by which we run this government.
May I just come in for a minute? We've just, I think Miss Menon has probably become guilty of the same charge she gave me of a sermon to the nation. However, let's leave these charges, counter charges against each other.
You inspired
I think,
me.
Madam, I have not really interrupted you. Just a little patience. That's all. I think it's good in politics, and it's good generally to hear each other out. We can differ, and we certainly are differing. I think the point I want to make here is that the Aam Aadmi Party takes great pains to, and I will now use the word, misquote Gandhiji. I think the basic fundamental is that the end may be desirable, but the means are equally desirable. I just don't understand what is this. By the same logic that the means can be ignored, the rule of law can be ignored, I think that every terrorist organization doesn't. Certainly the Aam Aadmi Party is not that. It wants to be a responsible political party. It is here in the political structure, and it has a chief minister in Delhi. So you just don't run down the entire constitution. If you feel so strongly that that was correct, why do you need to ignore the due process? Why are you so defensive about the due process? Just the process you apply does not mean it's the correct process, and you are wrong. As simple as that. You're wrong in law, you're wrong by the constitutional process. It's not really complicated.